Live from CNBC, this is The Edge with Sue Herrera.
It was shocking news last year when General Motors became the first modern automaker to sell an all-electric vehicle. The EV1 cost GM $350 million to develop, and so far, they've only sold or leased about 300 of the teardrop-shaped cars. But with glowing reviews of the car's performance, some critics say that GM may be the car's own worst enemy. Dom Daler is in Los Angeles live with the very latest and a look at a couple of charged-up owners. Hi, Don.
Hi, Sue. The EV1 is GM's answer to certain state government mandates that require 10% of new cars sold by the year 2003 be non-emitting. New battery technology will extend their range later this year, but right now, EV1s can go about 80 miles before recharge. No problem, says Los Angeles native Chris Trexler. He just completed a trip of 3,000 miles across country today in an EV1, and his enthusiasm for the car is matched by every other owner we talk to. Chris Trexler is not a professional driver. He's a Los Angeles-based film editor who decided to prove that the object of his affection, namely his EV1, is capable of anything a real car can do.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. In fact, most of the people that I know that have this car love it. In fact, I don't know anybody who doesn't love it. So
he hopscotched across the country from charge point to charge point in 60-mile jumps, ending up near Detroit, Michigan, where General Motors is based. This was not a promotional stunt. GM really had nothing to do with it. And even though GM was the first major American company to offer an electric car, there's some grumbling among aficionados that GM's heart really isn't in it.
We have gone after a very targeted audience with our advertising. That audience is essentially the early adopters of new technology.
I would like to see GM advertise the car a little bit more because I want people to share the joy that I'm getting from this car.
Hang on to your hat.
As a cinematographer on Star Trek Voyager, Marvin Rush is used to going where no one has gone before.
What exactly does all this do?
In his high-tech vehicle, Rush commutes to Hollywood 5 days a week. And when he decided GM wasn't doing enough to boost acceptance of the car, Rush took things into his own hands.
Where do you get a car like that? EV1, the electric car from General Motors.
And bought $20,000 of radio advertising with his own money.
General Motors had made a good attempt to advertise it, but they hadn't really captured the fun and excitement of this car, and also its mission.
GM thought the ads were so good they reimbursed Rush, but stopped short of using the ads themselves. These are just two examples of electrified owners of the EV1 who are spending their own time and money to make sure these cars gain a wider audience. GM, which is increasing its advertising for the EV1 from $10 million to $15 million this year, doesn't see these positive promoters as a negative thing.
I think it's fantastic. The enthusiasm of customers like this, it's almost unprecedented in this business to find customers who will do this much for you on their own initiative. I think they're great.
Meanwhile, EV1 lovers like Rush and Trexler refuse to remain static. They see the EV1 not just as the vehicle of the future, it's the vehicle of the now.
This is a great car. It's just a fabulous car. How can you possibly pass up the chance to clean the environment and have fun while you're doing it?
You have to wonder if GM realizes what they have on their hands with this kind of devotion. The nuts and bolts of the EV1 carries 26 batteries that take about 3 hours for a full charge and can go about 80 miles on a fill-up. The new nickel metal hydride batteries expected out later this year will double that range. The lease averages about $400 a month. And the fuel costs? Chris Trexler says his 800-mile monthly commute costs him $17 in electricity. Sue, back to you.
That is hard to beat, especially in LA when you have to do a lot of commuting. Thanks so much, Don.